If there's one thing Tensura does very well, it's setting the stage. Each volume leaves clues, each dialogue hides intentions, and each of Rimuru's actions seems to point to something much bigger. And precisely for that reason, even without real spoilers for Volume 23, we can already put together a pretty solid overview of what will probably happen when this next stage of the story arrives. Today, we're going to analyze trends, recent decisions by the author, and the current direction of the light novel to imagine, based on what already exists, how Volume 23 might unfold. Remember, nothing you're going to hear here is a confirmed spoiler. These are just logical conclusions based on the official construction of the work so far. Let's begin. In the last volumes released, it became clear that Ciel is becoming increasingly active. She doesn't just respond to commands, she anticipates them. She doesn't execute orders, she creates them. So, one of the most natural predictions for Volume 23 is that Ciel will intensify this autonomy. We will probably see new skills refined by her, silent adjustments to Rimuru's power, strategies devised on her own, and perhaps even a new conceptual upgrade. Volume May 23rd be the moment where Ciel finally demonstrates an independence that surprises even Rimuru. Not out of insubordination, but because her power level has already surpassed what Rimuru can keep up with. The work is entering its most mature phase. Political tensions are rising, and the author is making it clear that the world is about to enter a new era of war and reorganization. The question is, in Volume 23, who will be the next major antagonist? The most likely answer: an enemy that is not new, but is reorganizing. This includes three very strong possibilities. The Eastern Empire reorganizing its forces? Very likely. A demon lord taking an unconventional action? Also possible. Some secret faction that hasn't shown its cards yet? Highly likely. Volume May 23rd not show the war beginning, but it should prepare all the pieces on the board. The more the story progresses, the more Rimuru becomes a leader, not just the superpowered protagonist. And this political side of the work tends to grow. In Volume 23, it's very likely we'll see new diplomatic agreements, new allies trying to get closer to Tempest, internal and external tensions, changes in the country's social structure. If there's one point the novel likes to emphasize, it's Rimuru's power is transforming the world, even when he's not fighting. This volume has everything to expand on that. In recent volumes, the author has alternated between focusing on Rimuru and highlighting other characters. Looking at the pattern, it's quite likely that Volume 23 will highlight one of these characters. Rimuru, Diablo, Testarossa, Ciel, or perhaps even one of the dragons. It's common for these transitional volumes to delve deeper into one of Rimuru's partners and reveal a bit more of their potential. The most likely outcome: Rimuru or Diablo will gain some significant advancement. This is the hottest point, and the most difficult to predict accurately. Tensura is moving towards its metaphysical phase. The story is already exploring destiny, soul, world logic, and forces that go far beyond the earthly level. Volume May 23rd. Bring new fragments about Veldenova's legacy. Reveal how Ciel truly relates to this system. Deepen the origin of the world itself. Or even introduce new concepts that will be essential in the final arc. This part is more speculative, but it makes narrative sense. In the volumes preceding major arcs, the author always inserts small secrets that only make sense later. At this point in the story, Rimuru's physical strength has already surpassed its limit. So, what remains to evolve? The abstract, the conceptual, the divine part of his being. It is likely that Volume 23 will show a new understanding of his abilities, a profound refinement made by Ciel. One more step towards the creator level. It won't be something explosive. It will be something calm, elegant, and dangerous. That kind of silent evolution that we only perceive when Rimuru unleashes a new ability and the whole world trembles. Based on the trajectory of the work, Volume 23 likely serves as a turning point. It should resolve recent issues, reorganize forces, give clear clues about the next major arc, strengthen Rimuru on more than one level, and prepare the ground for a conflict that changes the fate of the world. It won't be an explosive war volume. It will be a volume that builds the darkness before the storm. And believe me, whenever Tensura prepares a storm, it comes strong. In summary, based on the current direction of the story, Volume 23 will likely have heavy checkmark, political and strategic focus. Heavy checkmark, in-depth exploration of Ciel. Heavy checkmark, restructuring of alliances. Heavy checkmark, movement of antagonists. Heavy checkmark, development of key characters. Heavy checkmark, a conceptual advancement of Rimuru. Heavy checkmark, important clues about the final arc. All this without real spoilers, just a logical projection based on what the novel has already delivered. If the author follows this pattern, Volume 23 will be the kind of volume full of narrative construction, where every detail matters, even if it seems small at the moment. And when the explosion finally arrives in the following volumes, we'll look back and think, of course, it all started there.